Welcome back. Now, joining us to continue this discussion is a youth advocate and banker, Olanion Joseph. It's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Thank you, Victor.
Of course.
Nice to have me here, and I really appreciate it.
No problems. So let's look at this. I mean, agitations by youths, trying to make demands, from the government, from their representatives. Um, how do we go about this? I mean, I know there's been ways youths have been, clamoring for this and that, but then what's the proper channel?
Okay, good. We are in the age, now that we have a lot of platforms at our disposal that we can use to engage the government.
Exactly.
Besides just going on the street and rolling drums and going the offensive way, we can use social media effectively, such that we'll be able to get the listening ear of the government without even offending the party that we expect to do one thing or the other for us. So, and also we have platforms like this through the mass media that we can also utilize to reach government and get them to be informed about what is going on in our community. Because as a matter of fact, these people are actually walking around in very mass environment that they may not know what's actually going on at a particular locality. So through social media and then through the mass media, we can get them informed about all these things.
All right, so you talked about drumming support or marching on the streets. Don't you think that is a viable tool, like protests?
Protest is a viable tool, but not the first thing that we start with, or not the thing that we start with from onset. It can come in as a last resort, especially when you need to show the number of people that are actually in the advocacy, when you need to show it to the public or even mobilize others to join in the whole advocacy, but not necessarily at the beginning that you, because we need to consider other implications of that in terms of disturbances that constitutes to the community and others. So all of those things should not be the first thing that we take, the first channel that we adopt, but can be a last resort.
Yeah, but sometimes, I mean, there's this deafening silence even when the social media is used. So if you say, let's use the last resort or let's advocate use the last protest as a last resort,
Okay.
why don't you just use it from onset, knowing well fully that if you go through social media, trend hashtags, the government just might not even listen to you?
Yeah, in engaging government, there are lots of rules that needs to be well understood.
What are those rules?
Number one is that you need to be very, very patient. As a matter of fact, you need to be very, very patient because they have a lot of things in their hands.
How much patience can you exercise? Because at times people want these results quickly. For instance, in the fight against corruption, they're saying it needs to be done quickly. Ending insecurity, they're saying it needs to be done quickly. So how much patience can you exercise in trying to channel these demands from the government?
As they will say that sometimes vulture actually enjoys the larger part of the whole spoil. Okay, vulture will not be the beginning. Okay, yeah, being proverbial, but as a matter of fact, when you are patient about the whole thing, you get the government to understand what you are asking for, rather than saying, I want it now, it should be done now. There are so many other things that people want now that should be done now. But when you get government on your side and make them understand what your requests are, as a matter of fact, you get best result. Take for instance, when you say you want result now, and then you go about making us all about it. What if the government does not have the capacity? Do we really get to understand that? That's one. Second is that we need to understand how the system, the system that we call government run. Because a lot of times it's not all about the individual that we've elected into the offices, to the various offices. It's about even individuals, the citizens. Because as we often don't tend to see citizens as part of governments. We actually have our own offices. The moment we elect some individuals, we are taking our own offices as citizens, and we are part of the government.
So what is the function of the citizens?
The role? Okay, the role, apart from just engaging the government, there are some initiatives that will lead. Okay, sometimes when you appoint some leaders and they're not doing things that you expect, you can take the lead, show them what needs to be done, and then you force the government to follow. It does not mean all the time government leads. Sometimes citizens can lead and then the government follow. So in areas like that, we have various examples in some localities, in some community villages, when you have projects that are initiated by the communities, and then eventually government comes in to make it better.
Like which one?
Like saying you're sinking a public toilet, you're sinking borehole, and all of those things. It could come in that direction. The moment you show the government, this is how much we need this thing, and this is the much effort we have imputed into this, you are definitely motivating government into action.
So how would you rate the Office of the Citizen at the moment?
The Office of the Citizens has not done as much as we should. And that is why...
and what are people like you, since you say it hasn't done
as much as we should?
What are people like you doing to ensure that the office or the citizens are to the next level?
Okay, just as you mentioned when we started, as a banker, I should ordinarily be sitting back, oh, I'm too busy, which is part of what I'm trying to correct in the community, because a lot of professionals today have serious apathy towards the government. So when each time I have opportunity to go on leave, I go on different trainings, okay, to enhance my understanding about these things, because I really want that change effected in the community, in the country, and I need to get good understanding about it. An example of a fellowship I attended was a Canvarsity. Okay, in the Canvarsity, we were trained to be able to project our advocacy in art form. Okay, and drawing the image, you can go to different community, to different organizations, to different forum, and then display this image to mobilize people. We call it crowd pulling. You get people to understand what you're doing, mobilize, duplicate, and replicate who you are. It's not something that you think an individual can achieve, but you need to get the whole community involved in all these things so that as the Office of the Citizens will be able to work together in one voice and be able to create the government that we want. Because eventually, the government that we have is often a kind of replication or a display, an image of the citizenship. Reflection, exactly. A reflection of the citizenship that we have.
Well, we have to wait and see how you will be pushing this Office of the Citizen to do or to lead or to be part of the government.
Exactly.
Like you say they are, but then we have to leave the conversation here.
Okay.
Olaniyan Joseph, youth advocate and banker.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Well, that's where we are. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back shortly with the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Stay with us.
They kidnap, collect ransom to possibly replenish their depleting armory. And they do this in connivance with some notable people. So
this week's top 5 videos begins with the allegation by a former DSS director that it is possible for security operatives to collaborate with kidnappers to perpetrate their attacks. In fourth is Nigeria's information minister maintaining that leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, is in a house with his family.
How many Nigerians know that El-Zakzaky is actually not in prison custody, no police custody, no SS custody?
Where is he?
El-Zakzaky is in a house, with his family.
My palate was quite titillated and titivated when I heard that the 8th Senate has finally passed, not really the PIB, but the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill.
Third spot is taken by former lawmaker Patrick Obahiagbon, speaking on the Petroleum Industry Bill.
I ask that the Almighty God, who is the supreme controller of the universe, forgive Smart Adeyemi for all the lies he's told these nights.
The video of a serving and former lawmakers from Kogi State in an exchange of words over bribery allegations takes the second spot.
The highest money we collected is from Firstack, $1 million. From somebody even in Firstack.
While the first and most viewed video in the past week is that of the arrested kidnapped kingpin, Chukwudi Dumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans. And there you go, those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. And that's the program this week. Thank you for joining us. And do remember, the conversation continues via the social media addresses showing on your screen. I'm Victor Matthias. Bye for now.